Okay, everybody, welcome back to another wonderful episode of How to Tarot. Today we're going to be focusing on the Magician card. This is the second card in the Major Arcana. Even though it's labeled number 1, it is in fact the second. So again, this video is just going to be a very, very quick look at this card and some of its usual meanings in a reading or by itself, just to kind of give you a good introduction to what this card might mean when you're doing your own readings, and just what exactly is going on with the magician and his tricks. So that's it. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the key concepts. So these are the big picture things behind this particular card. And we've got those listed out here, so I'll just read them off quick. They are the willpower, magic, kind of creation, real sense of power with the magician, synthesis, intention, and skill. So I'll talk a little bit about some of these. So with magic and creation, I think the general image that I see is the kind of magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Right? It's almost a sense of pulling something out of nothing. Of course, that's not necessarily what's happening, but that is the image that we wind up with after the magician works his magic. So that's why I included the synthesis here. He's sometimes got an alchemical feeling to him. He's kind of blending the forces that are on his little table there to make something new, to have something novel arise from the elemental combinations that he may employ. Of course, these are all done under one's will. They're directed under the will. That's a big thing with magic in general, is the manifestation of one's intention. And of course, it takes some skill to do something like this. And the intention may be an illusion, it may be a magic trick, or it may be a more miraculous function. I suppose you may call it true magic versus stage magic, and the magician is capable of both of these things. They're not with too much difficulty for the skilled magician to move between those. So keep those in mind in your readings. These are the big ideas. We're going to get into the other positive and negatives now, so we'll start with the positives. So when the magician comes up in your reading in a positive position or upright or anything that might indicate a good attitude, when your magician is in a good mood in the reading, these are the general words that could be applied to this card and to the situation. The magician is usually expressive. He's projecting something, he's expressing something. Generally it will be a result more or less a real ending. So he'll pull something out, whether it's a trick or whether it was genuine magic. You will be left with a real result, regardless of how it manifested. He's an expansive character. He's generally a very masculine character, kind of a yang to the High Priestess's yin. So he's a projective thing. He doesn't deal with inner mysteries so much as he deals with the outward magic, the manifestation magic, materialization, things of that nature. And certainly the show that he puts on will be outward. It's not an inner drama. He's a creative person. He's creating something from nothing, or something from elemental components at any rate. There's a sense of empowerment and enchantment here. I think that an individual could be empowered or enchanted by the magician's spells or antics or dramas. Whatever spells he's casting definitely will have an effect on the world at large. Of course, charming, it may indicate a person who is a charmer in the personal sense. Not so much the magical sense. He's not making any enchanted items here. Maybe so in another case, but there's a sense of higher aims here. So generally, a good magician will will play his tricks or cast his spells to the betterment of his fellow men, and not so much to their detriment. So, in the positive aspect, the magician is deploying his spells to raise his fellow men upwards, to illuminate, show others the light that he stands in front of. Alright, but that's the good magician. Let's see what happens when the magician gets a little bit crazy, a little bit negative perhaps. So these are some of the words that come up when the magician comes up in an ill-dignified position in your reading. So maybe he's just in a bad position in your layout, or he's reversed, however it comes up for you. Will vary, of course. But so we have illusion, deceit, controlling, kind of a blocked power, curse perhaps, backfire, and escape artist. So we'll go over these a little bit. The magician is an illusionist in many cases, and being so, he could use that power for good or bad, but in this case it's kind of the negative nature of illusions, almost a lie, a magical lie. So these might be tricks played to make someone see something incorrectly, or cause someone to act in a way that brings them harm based on what they were shown by the magician. The magician may not always conjure truth. He may conjure deceitful images or results for others. Of course, the magician controls his elemental weapons, so to speak. Those are the things on his table. Those are the 4 suits of the tarot and the 4 elements. So some control is needed, but the magician may wind up being too controlling in some cases. You can think of an evil wizard kind of whispering in the ear of someone to torment or direct them. And that can happen. Spells could be used towards that end, of course. So if this card comes up, you may want to look around you for your kind of dark wizards in your life that may be doing something like this. The magician can also indicate a blocked power. Generally, the magician is a creative, expansive force, but if it comes up backwards, it may indicate that something is kind of gunked up or jammed up somewhere and the power isn't flowing, or something's off balance. Curses outright, of course. You could just definitely have an evil spell slinger in your life, and you may be that person. So if that comes up like that, look again for an individual in your life. Sometimes spells backfire, as we've seen in our favorite fantasy novels, so do be aware of that. The magician may get caught up in his own tricks. And finally, the magician may be a bit of an escape artist, which isn't always necessarily a bad thing. But there may be a tendency to create an illusion instead of face the reality of a situation. Perhaps the reality is out of the magician's ability to affect in some cases, and it may be more pleasing for them to live in the fantasy world created by their magics. So do be aware of that. That could be another aspect of it. So we'll end on the messages that the magician card usually brings in a reading. And these are that you need to create something. Perhaps you've been inactive or nervous about that, but it may bring the message that it's time to create. It's time to cast some spells of your own. Time to make some magic of your own. It could be a warning that there may be some trickery afoot. The magician, as we've talked about, is sometimes depicted as more of a stage magician. So there could be some illusions affecting you. Use all of your tools at your disposal. The magician uses all of his, and you will need all of yours to successfully enact your will. Of course, to enact your will, you will need to have your intention focused. If you don't have a clear way forward, if you don't have a clear direction for your strength, for your magic power to flow through, for your creative power to flow through, who knows where it'll wind up. Maybe it'll end up vaguely like you wanted, but if you don't know what you want, you'll never know. So definitely make sure your intention is very focused. And finally, use your magic wisely. The upright magician will tend towards illuminating others and directing others along a similar path, or helping them along their way. You can think of a Gandalf kind of guiding through wisdom, whereas the inverse magician may be more of an evil wizard. So that's about it. those are the key messages for the Magician. And that's the big overview for the Magician card in particular. So I hope that was helpful. If this comes up in your readings, you can kind of come back and revisit this video, kind of check out some of these big meanings behind this card to hopefully give you a little more insight as to why this particular card has shown up in your layout or in your reading, and what or whom it may indicate. So that's it. I'm going to stop yapping. I will catch you guys in the next video. And please, in the comments, leave your own interpretations, your own meanings, your own findings, your own experiences with this card. Leave them all down there. Have a little discussion. And we'll see if we can't all learn a couple of new things about this particular card. Thanks for stopping by. Do all the YouTube stuff, the likes, the favorites, whatever, subscribes. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Farewell.